We have live team coverage from Copley Township tonight. News Channel 5's Bob Jones has more on what is being done to help the community cope with the tragedy. But we begin with Dan Haggerty, who spoke with a man who watched the massacre unfold in front of his home. Dan.
John, this man may have seen more of what happened than anybody. He's been talking to the police. He lives right across the street. He knows everyone involved. And he told me, even though he saw all of this with his own eyes, it's still hard for him to believe. Gilbert Eli is 76 years old and lives right across the street from the Johnson's house, close enough to hear the shots and run to help.
The car was sitting there with two people in it shot, and Gertie was laying in the driveway shot, and she wasn't dead when I got there, but she recognized me and she said, Eli.
He said he noticed two other people shot dead in the driveway when he looked next door and saw Rebecca Dieter, the shooter's girlfriend.
And I asked her, I said, well, did anybody call 911 or the police or anything? And the guy walked out behind her, pow, 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 pow. Down she went.
51-year-old Michael Hance had killed 5 people across the street from Gilbert Eli, and now he was in the line of fire.
I ran back through here as fast as I could go. Wow. So I figured if he shot these many people and he shot her and she's talking to me, I'm going to be next.
Eli was one of the closest witnesses to the murders, but says it doesn't help him find the answers most people here are looking for.
I knew them all. I even knew the shooter, but I had no talks with him. I mean, I just knew him. But the Russ and all the rest of them, I knew them well. And it just blows my mind as to how this could happen in this neighborhood when everybody was so nice.
And Mr. Eli admitted to me that he did everything that he felt he could do in that situation, but just like everyone else on this street who I talked to, they never saw anything like this coming. Reporting live tonight in Copley, Dan Haggerty, News Channel 5.
All right, thank you, Dan. And now here is the overhead look at the deadly path police say that Michael Hance took, and it all begins at the bottom of your screen on Good Enough. This is the home down here where he lived with his girlfriend, 49-year-old Rebecca Dieter. This is also where they found Rebecca's, she was shot several times and injured. But across the driveway here is where they found Rebecca's 51-year-old brother dead from a gunshot wound, and he was dead as well as the people that lived in the home. They were Russell and Gudrun Johnson, as well as the couple's 16-year-old granddaughter, Autumn Johnson, and a 16-year-old friend of hers whose name has not been released. Now, at this time, they say Brian Johnson, the 44-year-old son of the Johnsons and the father of Autumn, took off through these woods here and began running north about 500 yards with Hance chasing him. Ended up at a home here on Shockalog, and that is where Hance shot Johnson dead in the driveway. Police say Hance then began to make his way back down south, and he got to around this point where he saw the 11-year-old nephew of his girlfriend, Scott Dieter, running across the street, seeking shelter in this home here. And that is where they say Hance came across the street, kicked in that door, ran inside, shot and killed the 11-year-old, allowed the family that was in there to leave. This is also the spot where police caught up with Hance taking his life and ending this whole ordeal.